everyone, I hope you're doing well, and today we'll be going over a 60 card Gren Maju Stromberg deck list in Master Duel. Now, if you've seen last week's video, you know I did a similar list on the TCG, and you also know how much I absolutely love this deck. It's one of my favourite decks of all time, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So here is the deck list. I won't be going too in-depth on the choices. If you want to see that, if you want to see an in-depth discussion of the deck, please look at my previous video. It has most of the cards in here. However, the most notable changes are 2 Eater of Millions in this deck, just to enable the Gren Maju OTK a bit more. Plus, in a best of one, it's a lot harder to out this card. We also run an extra Gleef because they recently banned terraforming in Master Duel. So this is basically the inner archetype searcher for Golden Stromberg, so might as well run that instead of terraforming. We also only run one Doggeran since it's an ultra rare, and I really didn't want to craft a second one. If you run into games where you're missing a kaiju for the interrupted kaiju slumber after banishing a bunch, you should probably run Jizukiru, or Jism as I like to call him, the machine kaiju. Whilst it's not a rank 8, it will do the job. We also run one extra Hexatrude, just because in real life I could only find 2, so 3 is nice for consistency. You don't really want to see her in the hand, but she does work with trade-in, so it's not the worst thing to see. Other notable changes are the Maxi tax, or the Master Duel tax. We have 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, and 2 Called by the Grave. Now, we run 1 Called by the Grave, obviously, in the TCG since it's limited, but we only have these here just because Maxi really does suck to go against, so of course we've got to try and counter it. We also run the 3rd copy of Pot of Desires. Once again, TCG Forbidden Unlimited list is screwing us there, but in Master Duel we're allowed to run 3, so we definitely have to. We also run some Lightning Storms just to give us a bit more ability to go second. A great part about this deck is it really can go first or second, so I put those in there to kind of balance it out a little bit more. The last change from my previous video is Garura. Now this works brilliantly with Super Poly, and it was recently added to Master Duel, so I thought I'd include it in here since it is a really good Super Poly target. So just in case you haven't seen last week's video where I absolutely rave about this card, we're going to show off the Golden Castle of Stromberg. Now if you haven't read this, and a lot of people haven't and won't, it's absolutely busted. So to break this effect down, once per turn in the standby phase, you have to banish 10 from the top of your deck as a maintenance cost. If you can't do that, then it gets destroyed, which is fine with running 60 for this exact purpose. We want to keep Stromberg on the field as long as possible. Its second effect is that you can special summon one monster that mentions Golden Castle of Stromberg, which is either your Hexatrude or your Gleef. Now those aren't the important effects, although they are quite useful. The most important one is the bottom. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy the attacking monster, and if you do, inflict damage equal to half of the attack that the monster had on the field. You don't know how many times people attack into this and just don't read it, and honestly, when this card's on the field, you are practically invincible. This card is so much fun to run, and I will show you now in a couple of games how powerful it is. So, going into our first game, we are going first. A great thing about this deck is you can go first or second. Got a decent opening hand here. We're going to start with the Pot of Desires to see what we get off the top. We drew into our amazing card, the Golden Castle of Stromberg. We're going to activate its effect to summon the Hexatrude. Activating Danger Thunderbird, we got lucky, so we're going to special summon it, draw a 1, and then we're going to link into, or Xyz into Dingirsu, since it's our best rank 8 for our turn 1 plays. Let's see what our opponent is playing here. He's first going to use Imperm on the Dingirsu, which is a shame, but that's fine. We're going to Ash Blossom the Keldo here, just so he doesn't get the summon. Unfortunately, he did discard the Kelbeck, so he's going to activate the effect here. He's going to get some quite good mills using the Agido and the Merly, and also the Sulliek to just do tier things. He is playing tier, what more can I say really? He has the Sulliek to hand, and then he's going to fusion with the Merly effect into the Kaleido Heart. Not much of a surprise there. And then Agido, and then Kaleido Heart to shuffle the Dingirsu, normal summoning the Keldo, and sending Scream with Foolish, adding the Sulliek. So he's going to set 3 and go to battle, where he attacks. He didn't read Stromberg, did he? Let's see if he does it again. Okay, so maybe he did it on purpose to get the other Kaleido Heart. Let's see if he goes again. Oh! It's not once per turn? Oh, it's not twice per turn? Well, that's a shame, isn't it, Mr. Tier? In the end phase, we're going to activate the Gizmek to special summon him from the grave, just in case he manages to get something on the field. So now, in our draw phase, we're going to have to banish the 10. We then go to special summon Hexitrude, activating its effect to pop 1. Unfortunately, we hit one of the Sulliek, so he can add the Merly. However, we can now special summon the Eater of Millions and just attack for game. Now, we could have gone into the Numeron Dragon OTK, but because he had the Merly, I didn't want to activate any monster effects, so that's why I went for the Eater of Millions there. Sorry, Tier, but you do need to read. Going into game 2 here, we're going first. Once again, this terraforming might as well be a second copy of Gleef, because this is recorded before the ban list, but we're going to activate the terraforming, which would have been Gleef, to do the exact same thing, add Golden Castle of Stromberg. Then go to activate the Pot of Desires, and then activate the Stromberg, and special summon Hexitrude using Stromberg's effect, setting the called by for the next turn. Now this wasn't a very strong turn 1, but let's see what our opponent has. He goes for an Extravagance, and Battle Phase, and evenly matched. We get rid of the Stromberg and our called by just because we have another searcher for the Stromberg. I suspected it was Flu here. He's going to Stromberg. Too much Stromberg. He's going to Sarcophagus and then use Rabina to add back the Sarcophagus card, and then he's going to Storm Summon Eglin. Let's fast forward through this. Using the Stree, he's going to normal summon Empen, activate a million birds as Flu does. He's going to add them all back to hand and the map. Activate the toucan, activate the map, summon Rabina, enter. God, Flu is such a fun deck to play against, eh? Okay, so going into our turn, we're going to Kaiju his Empen so our effects will go off. We'll send the Phantom Bird to the grave. Activate our Stromberg. While Stromberg's on the field, we're going to pop the map using Hexy. We're going to special summon Gizmek, and he's unfortunately going to book that, and then chain the trap so that he can special summon, normal summon, definitely normal summon. Add the Eglin, and guess what? Add back another Eglin, and Riser the Monarch. He's going to get rid of our Stromberg and our Hexy, not before chaining about 53 different birds. Luckily, he bounced it back to hand, so we can just activate it again. We're going to take his Egglen using Monster Reborn and normal summon Gren Maju. Thanks to Stromberg, we've banished 20, so we're just going to attack for 7,500 and then kill him with his own Empen because screw the birds. Okay, going into game 3, we're going first once again. Now, luckily we've drawn it into our Stromberg here, but we're going to start off with the trade-in, pitching the Bigfoot. I'm then going to activate the Golden Castle of Stromberg and go for our Thunderbird. Luckily, we get it off, and then we're going to activate the Stromberg to bring out the Hexitrude. We're going to go into the Sky Prison and activate its effect in case he's playing Tears, and guess what? He is. So, forgive me, I'm going to max C just so I can draw one. I was going to say, forgive me, I might not be able to keep up with all his effects because Tears do so much. He's going to mill a couple. Fortunately, he milled the Kelbeck. He's then going to mill more and fusion summon into Kaleido Heart, which will bounce my guy. Which is a sad day, but at least he can't special summon from the graveyard, so we're going to special summon Jizz on his side of the field, special summon Alpha because he has higher attack than us, and then special summon our own Kaiju. We're going to activate Master of Beast to bounce the Kaiju back to our hand and itself, and let him get on with his turn. Now he's going to activate Scream here, activate Foolish Burial Goods, ditching the Sulliek, and then he's going to add the Rhino Heart. Honestly, I'm going to fast forward because you've probably seen this a million times if you play Master Duel. He's going to keep milling, mill some more, fusion summon into Kit Kalos, and then he's going to activate more Tears to fusion summon more, add more traps. He's even got the second Foolish into the Merly, to Fusion Summon into Winder. Now Winder's a bit of a problem, he's going to attack! He didn't read the Stromberg either. So that gets popped, he gets burned, and fortunately he read it now, he knows it's not once per turn. So we're going to pay the standby cost for our Stromberg. We're going to special summon Alpha since he has more attack than us. He's then going to activate the Scream into Fairy Tale Snow. At least with the Winder on the field, he can only summon that this turn. Now he's going to activate the Snow to book the Alpha Master of Beasts, which is a shame, I did want to use his effect. He's going to use Meta Noise to shuffle it back in, and then draw one. We're just going to switch Gameciel to defense. He's going to for some reason negate this, but I assume it's just to get some more mills off the effects there, and we'll pass back to him. Now he's going to normal summon Havness using this Scream. He's going to mill a bunch and then Fusion Summon once again. Not a surprise here. Shuffle some back, summon a Kaleido Heart, shuffle my Stromberg. This guy knows my weakness. Luckily though, our Gameciel will hold out, our Alpha of Beast not so much, but then he's going to pass back to us. Let's see what we can do. We're going to tribute the Winder just to summon the Jizz on his side of the field so we can summon more than once. We're going to special summon Gleef, which is a rare case. We're going to try and get rid of the Sulliek here, but unfortunately no dice, he's going to negate it, which is kind of what we wanted. We wanted to bait that negate, you'll see why in a second. Now he's going to kind of do his thing, shuffle back and summon, but that's fine, we don't care, and then he's going to shuffle the Stromberg, it's fine, we got the effects. We will activate the triple talents to take control of a monster. We're going to use Rugalos as a level 8 with our Gameciel into Dragluvion. Do you know where this is going? Numeron Dragon, attach number 38, detach number 38, and we're going to attack for game over his Rhino Heart. This game was one misplay away from losing, and it's worth noting that the Jizakiri, or the Jism as I like to call him, should be the Dogoran. Just in case you were wondering where it was on the deck list, I crafted it recently. Going into game 4, we are going second this time, which is fine. We got a decent going second hand here. Fortunately, we drew into the Hexatrude, that's quite unlucky. Looks like he is a Mathmech player. He's going to activate the Cyanate Money to add the Circular. Nice Royal Circular, by the way. He's then going to pitch the Sigma to special summon the Sigma, and then add the Super Factorial. And he's going to Xyz into an Inversion. He's going to use the effects to add a Mathmech, which is the second Circular, which is not possible now. Actually no, that's the TCG, forgive me. He's going to use Diameter and special summon another Circular, and then Synchro into Final Sigma, and then equip Mathmech Billion Blade to Sigma. Thankfully, we're running a lot of Kaiju, so this doesn't really matter to us, but he's going to activate the Super Factorial and special summon all 3 back, and then go into the Laplacian. Pretty solid turn 1, my guy. He's now going to discard the one card we don't really care about, which is Hexatrude, thank God for that, and we're going to Kaiju over the Sigma, just because he's very, very scary. So he's going to shuffle that back in, and then we're going to destroy attack position monsters. Unfortunately, we didn't read this game, so these two will be living. We're going to activate the Bigfoot. Fortunately, he tries to negate it, but because it doesn't negate and destroy, we're just going to activate it again. We get super lucky on the 50-50 and summon the Danger Bigfoot. We're now going to draw one from its effect and flip the Monster Reborn to get the Hexatrude. Now, we're very happy that that got discarded, to be honest, because now we can use the level 8 to go into Dingirsu. This can't be destroyed by card effects, but it can be sent. So we sent it to the grave and simply attacked into the Alan-version. Main phase 2, we're going to go into Pain Gainer using the Dingirsu, go into the 7 Sins, and can you guess what's coming next? The Zeus. So we have a 4 mat or even a 5 material Zeus against his 2 cards in hand. Do you think we can do it? I think we can. So he's going to special summon the Sigma. He top decks Circular. Lucky bastard. So now we're going to Zeus to get those off the field, and that's a game. So going into our 5th and final game, we're going second once again. Now it's a pretty good go second hand, especially with the Lightning Storm. Our opponent is playing meta because he knows the mighty T-set pass, which is dominating ladder at the moment. So let's see what we draw into the Maxi, not bad. Let's start with Pot of Desires and pray for no Ash, we got quite lucky there. Go into Lightning Storm to play that back row because T-set pass usually means Mirror Force. Fortunately it was branded in red and we don't really care about that. We'll activate Thunderbird pitching the Bigfoot and then activate the Bigfoot pitching the Kaiju. And we'll also set the Super Poly we just drew off as a danger. We're going to go into the legendary rank 8 Dingirsu, which is one of my favourite plays. Let's send this face down to the graveyard. It was Tragedy, but we're going to activate the Call by the Grave that we drew from our second danger to get rid of that since we saw our opponent bricked really hard. Now, let's go into the battle phase. Can you guess what's coming after the battle phase? We got the Pain Gainer, we got the 7 Sins, and then we got the Zeus. Who could have guessed it? We're going to end on Zeus and the Super Poly. Let's see what he has for us. He's going to normal summon Albaz, and we're going to chain Zeus, and he's going to chain the Super Poly. Fine, that is a way you can get out of the Zeus. So let's see what he summons. He's going to go into the Mirror Jade, but then our Zeus will resolve, sending everything to the grave. He's then going to try and add back using the Tragedy, but it's negated due to Call By. Should read the card next time, my guy. Now we'll activate the Danger Thunderbird, and his last card in hand was the Maxi, so let's see if we manage to special summon it. We'll discard our own Maxi to special summon the Thunderbird, drawing into Change of Heart, which doesn't do anything, so we're just going to hit him in the face for 2800. Let's see what he has top decked. He has drawn the Fallen of Albaz off the top, which will special summon into Lubellion. Now that was an unfortunate top deck for us, but luckily he doesn't have any cards to discard, so that's all he has. Now let's see. This is where the fun play happens. We're going to special summon Gadala just because it has 200 more attack, Change of Heart, and attack for game. So that's it for the games. Now I just want to do a quick pros and cons. The pros of this deck is it really can hold its own against meta decks. You saw it's beaten Tyr, it's beaten Branded, and it's beaten Mathmech. 3 big contenders in Master Duel right now. 2, nobody really expects the Stromberg, and half the people don't even read it, so you can really catch people off guard when you're playing this deck. Thirdly, it's got a lot of OTK potential with the Gren Majus and Numeron Dragon. And fourth, this deck is just really, really fun to play. For the downsides, it isn't the most consistent deck. Whilst it has a lot of searches, it is 60 cards still, so you will have some games where you just draw into rubbish. The second downside is this deck is unreasonably expensive. The Stromberg is an ultra rare, which makes sense because it's a super powerful card, but it's very niche, so it could have been a super Konami. And thirdly, this deck loses hard to spell negates. If your opponent gets Naturia Exterior off or anything along those lines, with almost half your deck being spells, it can really shut down your game plan. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't seen the full deck list for TCG, please check out last week's video. A link will be in the description and at the end of this video. And if you enjoyed watching, please feel free to hit subscribe, new Yu-Gi-Oh videos each week. And as always, happy dueling.